stay. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, that didn't take you long. Hey, Amber. It's good to see you. Jack, huh? Oh, Kitty. I think it's funny when people say that cats don't give you affection. My cats, they're very affectionate with me, but I also treat them really good. That I know how to pet. Huh? Look at it. Look at it. It's like, oh my gosh, Dad, can you do that forever? No, I can't because it's hurting my finger. Oh, it hurts. Like it hurts. Like right. Like sometimes it's hard to show you because it's my middle finger there. But sometimes my finger gets stuck like that, and I have to pop it. I have to go pop, so it'll get back to where it was. You can actually hear it. You probably can't hear that. Every time I do it, it's worse. See a doctor about it twice. Like, oh no, we talk. Yeah, that's part of the problem. If a cat needs something, he'll let you know. Then you definitely get affection, like food, cat box, water. All right. All right. Speaking of cats, I can hear one getting into something that they're not supposed to be in. Where are you doing? Really? Is that what you stoop to, dude? What? All right. All right. It's a cat playing with the plastic from the toilet paper. You know, the bag that it comes in. So it isn't so much that I mind. Plastic actually just makes them throw up. It means that, yeah, it's like grass. Cats also love, there's a reason they love cardboard. It actually helps with their skin. It's comfortable for them. So I actually have a couple of cardboard boxes around just for that. Can you see the shadow cat? Did you see that? That was kind of cool. All right, I'm just doing this because I don't even know why. Hey, Daryl, it's good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Had a request today at the noon meeting that we do meetings on Sundays also. And problem with that is I go to a different meeting on Sundays. And thank you. No, it's not a green screen. It's just it's got a little remote. I can change the colors. All right. Put some blue in there. See, I created orange. Let's go with orange. We're gonna go with orange. Go Broncos. We just got a new kick-ass linebacker. I have a little bit of heartburn here. So, no, just a little. It's like $17. But it's funny because two people have asked where I got it so far. Amber and my therapist. My therapist is pretty badass. She's pretty cool. She's in her early 30s. So, hey, Heather, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I wanted some color behind me. What I did is I put a woo, because it's got to be really dark in here. It doesn't work. So, I'm going to have to figure a way to. We'll have to figure out a way to do this because they like to go in this window. Hey, watch. There goes a cat. And I open this window. There's a bunch of rocks a bunch of rocks down there, and they like to sit in there. All right. 3 now. All right. You 90s kids. Welcome, Daily Trudge. Dion, host. Say hello, live, rewatch. I'm not putting this one on Podbean, so it'll be a little different. I don't have to worry about some other things. But I've been, my Podbean's like going here. Let's show it to you. I was like, I got to do some screwing around. All right, we'll get to the 7 R's here. All right. This one was I just did. But it's weird, C3. But if I go to my episodes here, like go to the episode list, if you look down, you can see numbers are double digits. But for a long time, wow, well, full page already, huh? Like here, see 10, 9, 9, 7, 9, 9, 5, 5. And then one day, 118. Right? Actually, and you can see is when it started with the Daily Trudge, which was weird. People seem to be enjoying it. Now, here's the cool place. Here's kind of the cool thing. Where does my audience come from? United States is my number 1. Okay. And then it's Russia, Israel, United Kingdom, Brazil, Ukraine, Germany, Japan, Mexico, Spain, France, South Korea, Canada, Netherlands, Romania. Look at all these different places. Czech Republic, Bangladesh, Saigon. Going to be the city of the ultimate test of cerebral fitness. All right. Where'd I get this? I bought it off Amazon for $17. I gotta sign in and everything though. I guess I do not. Returns and orders. Oh yeah, it does. I'm just gonna put the link in. Oh, you know what? Be easier to do it different way. I'll put the link in there for you. Actually, I'll just send you the link is what I'll do. Because I gotta send it to my therapist anyway. So I went to Google and I said, give me a random recovery topic, and it gave me the 7 R's of recovery. I haven't really looked at them, but I'm sure they'll fit with what we do. So let's take a look at it. Yeah, it also has white noise and stuff. Probably can't. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's a bubbling brook, right? I think I can change it. Oh, what did that do? I didn't want that. Go back to what it was. Oh, well. All right, I'm going to turn that off. No, really, I'm going to turn it off. Off. It's not working. There we go. All right. Got to get it back to. Where's my orange? All right. Let's get to these. Enough screwing around. I don't know how I did the orange one. I think I just got lucky. Red. Okay. All right. The 7 R's of recovery are a set of principles that can help people reclaim their lives and overcome challenges. I don't know. This feels like somebody put it together. Somebody that wants your money, like Haven House Recovery. Right. But we're going to use it. We're going to use it. The 7 R's include recognition. First one is recognition. I was seeing what it was called for you before you go look. Before you go looking, Galaxy Projector. Galaxy Projector 20. There you go. So recognition. Acknowledge the presence of mental health challenges or addiction. And that's definitely going to be the first step for us, right? Awareness, acceptance, recognition is kind of the same. Kind of goes into that. In fact, recognition would probably be awareness and acceptance combined, because you can be aware of your problem, but until you accept it, you're not going to be able to do much about it. That's been my experience, including my depression, my PTSD, and my anxiety. Aside from my alcoholism, it actually, yeah, yeah. Thanks, Amber. Hi, Julia. It's good to see you. I know it's good sunny afternoon, man. It's beautiful here in Denver, at least until Thursday. All right, but we have to recognize what it is that we're going through too, and even beyond addiction. Maybe I'm in a cranky mood, right? And it's funny, Amber, because you're giving him shit, but I don't even think he's looking at it. And she must like you. She's giving you that much shit. All right. And, maybe I'm in a bad mood. Well, the first thing I need to do is I need to recognize that I'm in a bad mood. And the next question is going to be why? Why am I in a bad mood? And I can answer these things with an internal honesty, right? And that's where the basis of all change starts. When I just got with my therapist, of course, the first question she always asks me is, how you doing? Right. And I try and stay away from I'm doing all right. How are you doing? She's a therapist. She's not really she's not really concerned on how I feel about how she's doing. Although I hope they solve a problem today. That was kind of cool. But, today I was like, I'm all right. So we talked about that a little bit. Responsibility. You got to take responsibility for one's life and choices. That can be kind of tough. It doesn't matter what anybody else has done, and maybe people have done something to you. We all have some kind of trauma going on. Sure, I had a life where I wasn't really happy with the choices other people made for me. Hey, Clara Joyce, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. Oh, I was talking about that earlier, and I didn't finish that people wanted to start a Sunday meeting. But I won't be there, so I have to teach people how to host. So maybe that's the next valid step that we do. So, and if people want one on Sunday, I go to a Sunday meeting. I go to Happy Trudgers, but I go there because that's where my friends are at. But if they all go to the other noon meeting, then I'll be there. And what behaviors would constitute to relapse before the actual relapse? That's a good question. I'd be happy to answer that real quick. Anger, feeling out of control, which usually means I'm trying to control other people. And I can only speak from experience on this, but it'll be old behaviors. Yeah, manipulation, judgmental, being very judgmental with other people, not being very open-minded. Yeah, but it's usually the resentments that pop back up first. Hey, look what all they're doing, and we get caught up in a worldly clamor or something. And because usually if you've been in the program for a minute, you will relapse emotionally before you relapse physically, usually. So what behaviors would be constitute to relapse before okay, just make sure I got that. So responsibility. I got to take responsibility, and that's 4 and 5 for us, right? Get down to those causes and conditions. It takes 2 to tango. There's another one. Yeah, that's a big one. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. That would be another big one. And feel free to reply to Clara Joyce if I've missed anything, because I know I missed some things. Dishonesty would be a big. I'm lying again. Yeah, that would be. In fact, that would probably happen before the anger, because I would end up getting angry because I'm being dishonest. So good job. Good job. And Julia agrees with that. And I have a feeling that they know what they're talking about too, because a lot of people here were, well, relapsers. So we get that. Great question, Clara Joyce. I appreciate that. So I'm going to have to take responsibility. It takes two to tango. I was just, my daughter moved into my ex-wife's house, and I've been struggling with that. I'm not going to go back why or try and get into, and so my thought was, and we don't have the best relationship right now. So maybe it's time for Dion to put his foot forward on this. Okay. And this is a responsibility. Okay. May I need to go back and say, hey, this is where we're at. Maybe you and I need to, clear up some of our history so that life is easier for my ex-wife and for my daughter and my granddaughters. And they can see that you can still be a family even if there's a divorce that happens, and standing up and being an adult, right? That's a responsibility that I think I need to take. I'm going to talk to my daughter about it first because it directly affects her. All right. So I need to talk to her first. I need to talk to the wife because it will directly affect her also. Right. Back to relapse a little bit. Julia says, what would constitute as a relapse is the alcohol, but pre-relapse is an emotional displacement. It's another great way to look at it. Yeah. That because we can either set ourselves up to fail or we can set ourselves up to succeed. And AA is a program that sets you up to succeed. Reflection. For us, this would be rigorous honesty. See, I don't need to be honest with you. I need to be honest with me. Because until I'm honest with me, I can't be honest with you. I talk about this a lot, where certain things have to happen for you first, like forgiveness. If you have not forgiven yourself, there's no way in heck you're going to be able to forgive other people. Right? So reflection and asking yourself pertinent questions, but it says consider one's experience and how they may impact the future. Okay. So with what I was just talking about, what was the reflection in that? Oh, well, if I'm going to write that email to the ex, then there's certain people that I need to talk to first because they will be affected. Okay. Or even more so, maybe they'll have a better idea on how to approach it. Right. Because I want it to work. That doesn't mean we need to become best friends or anything like that, but we can certainly have an amicable relationship. Once the money comes back in, I was getting ready to, Amber. I think Amber will probably remember this. I've been wanting to hold a big party for all my grandkids at one time so we can celebrate their birthday. I was going to set it up in April, but we haven't been this broke in a long time. But I'm broke, so I can't do it. But my point in that is if I hold one, I'd like to be able to invite their grandmother without her wondering if it's okay for her to be there or if other people are going to judge her and things like that. She doesn't fucking need that bullshit while going to see her grandchildren. She doesn't. Right? So that would be a reflection, right? Not slacking, no money. And don't you dare tell me to go get a job. For those of you that do kind of wonder about that, Adam, there's a couple of directors and some people at Adams County are actually going to be, they're meeting this week. And one of the things they're discussing is how can we pay Dion more? It's actually one of the discussions. So I'm also kind of creating my job with this other company by helping them out. We need to, they're trying to raise money so that we can have more scholarships because it's a homeless program. It is. It's reintegration. First 60 days are paid for, where you're in a halfway house and they do intensive inpatient for 28 days. and then they move into their own apartment. I love it. I love it. You know, so I'm kind of, but there's things that I can do to help them out, right? Sure, there is. I got a list of things, and I know it may sound weird, but instead of trying to raise the money in the beginning, what I'm going to do is save them money. DMV, food banks, clothing bank, jobs. I know where to go get jobs for these folks. Right? Towels and sundries, coffee, haircuts. I'm going to use coffee as an example. Okay. I used to work at Boyers. I think I brought this up earlier. And what I can do is I can have Boyers pay for the coffee. Yeah. The guy that started Boyer's Coffee, he died with over 50 years sober. His name was Bill Boyer. Right? He hired me out of the Phoenix concept. So I'm going to use what I have in order to save them money to bring in an ROI to create my job. It's also going to be done through some events. I also have another idea for the grassroots. It's probably a good place to bring it up. I'll wait till the end here, though. Hi, Michelle. If I didn't say hi, hello. Responsibility. Take responsibility. We did that reflection. We did that reconnection. I mean, heck, I was just talking about this. Rebuild relationships with family and friends. That's going to take time, right? It's going to take effort first. The reconnection usually, for me anyway, it happened after I completed the steps. It wasn't until Dion became somebody worth being around or having around before that really started to happen, right? I tried doing this with my brothers and sisters over the last few years, and it didn't work. Was it a waste of my time? I don't consider it a waste of my time. No, they were certainly worth my time, but they're not worth my time going forward because I'm not going to hang out with people that don't want to hang out with me. I'm just not. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I haven't lived with any of them since I was 13 years old. I'm not as connected as they are to each other, right? So some of these relationships, are important. I think the relationships with significant others, with partners, with our children and our grandchildren are probably more important than brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers. And that's kind of how I feel anyway. So, right. So reconnection is another. Restoration. Restoration, create a new meaningful life free of addiction, right? So, see, I didn't go reconnect or rebuild relationships with friends because I didn't have any. I mean, I've had a lot of passerbys, I've had a lot of acquaintances, but there's only been one person in this life where I had a best friend, right? Aside from my wife, right? Who is, in a sense, is my best friend, but she gets more benefits than just best friends, right? And I think you can have more than one best friend. Why not? Doesn't need to just be one. And sometimes I wonder if that person ever thought I was their best friend or if I just fucking made that up. But it hasn't been until lately that I've actually had friends that have stayed consistent. I've even tried to rebuild relationships with people that got demolished by all the assholes out there that talk shit, and they don't seem to come back either. I've tried to rebuild those, but there's just a taste in their mouth of something different. I've invited them to grassroots several times. I've reached out and nothing comes back. The one thing that I don't really go for is appeasement. I don't do that. Nah, I don't care for it. I understand if I'm not a priority. I certainly get that, but let's at least be honest about it. Oh, I'm so busy. Life's so busy that I haven't been able to reach out. Fuck off. That's not true. That's it. That you're being dishonest with yourself when you say that. And if you say it to somebody else, no, if they were a priority, you would find time. How do I know that? Because I'm an alcoholic and I found time to drink. Yes, I did. I barely see my true friends, but I know that they are there. That's actually one of the traits of true friendship. That length, the length of time. Sometimes if you don't talk to each other for a little bit, that nothing's really changed. That's actually one of the signs of true friendship. So thank you, Julia. That's awesome. All right. Resilience. Resilience. I'm sorry, Amber. I feel for you. But what's cool is now I got a lot of really good friends, right? I don't even know what constitutes a best friend. I don't. So it's kind of hard for me to talk on that, right? We are all living our freedom and come together in special ways. That's cool, Julia. I'm glad that you have those relationships. That's awesome. So resilience. Develop the ability to bounce back from setbacks or delayed gratification when I'm going to send you a link. Although you weren't here for the beginning. I'm giving Daryl a hard time. I think he's still looking it up because he hasn't said nothing. Right? Resilience really isn't delayed gratification. I was just trying to put that in there, just give somebody a hard time. But that's it, Amber. Yeah, it is hard to make a best friend when you didn't trust anyone growing up. Yeah. I tell you this, nobody had my fucking back. I had to take care of my back. Yeah. So, I got tools to trust people and build relationship these days. Yeah. Yeah, it's different. And maybe because for me, and I'm only going to talk about me on this, the reason that I didn't trust people is because I couldn't trust myself. So I didn't know how to trust because I couldn't trust myself. Once I got to a point where I could trust myself, I could start placing my trust in other people. So maybe that had to do with me. I trusted my teachers in the Scholastic Book Club. Bookmobile. I love the bookmobile. You want to know why I loved the big bookmobile? Because nobody else was there. Heck yeah. Good old Scholastics. I didn't trust my teachers, though, either. No, especially when they deemed me retarded and put me in the special ed class. I know that's not how we talk now, but that's how I grew up, and there's nothing wrong with what I said. No, I didn't trust them. No, they never did anything to go out of their way to help me. I can't even. Mr. Huggins. That's the only teacher I can remember off the top of my head, and the only reason I remember him, he was my 5th grade teacher. And it turned out that he was a pedophile. He got arrested when I was in 6th grade. Mr. King, there's another one. Mr. King showed me the article. I'm like, that was my teacher. I'm like, oh, because what he used to do is if you were a boy, you got to pick 3 or 4 other boys and either spend the night at his house or go out to eat. If it was the girls, you just went out to eat. I picked Casa Bonita. And thank God. All right. I didn't trust teachers and I was too broke from the scholastics. We spoiled Isaac this year with it, though. Yay. Isn't it cool to be able to give your kids what you weren't given? I think that's so cool. Scott also didn't get to partake in that much. Yeah. Yeah. Probably why you're together. Birds of a feather, my friends. So resilience. Have you seen that one? It's from Rocky, right? Where he's old and he's gonna be fighting some young dude, and I think he loses the fight. And but when he's talking to his son and he's saying it's not how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep going. and keep going. My friend Scott and I share a best friend for a while, but he's stuck in life right now, and there's only so much you can do to try and help someone. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I have found a lot of times, especially people that are still stuck in addiction, what they will say is, "Oh, you're too good for us now." I didn't trust the PE teachers. Yeah, I didn't trust them either. Oh, maybe this should have been about trust. So develop the ability to bounce back from setbacks. We got to learn from the hard things in our lives. Okay. And this is usually what I have found when I am going through something that seems to be a little bit harder, or maybe it goes on for a little bit. I have found that my higher power is giving me the skills that I need for something coming up. It almost always happens that way. Almost always. Reintegration. This is the one part that a lot of people miss in the program. They don't reintegrate back into society. Reintegrate into society after recovery. It's one of the most important parts, and it's kind of the completion. We do not graduate or anything like that, but I've reintegrated myself back into society. A lot of you have. Now you went back to work. I do a lot of things in my community. More like codependent, less addict. Still just as spiritually sick, sweetie. Codependents are just as sick as the alcoholic. They just use other things to, like shopping. And it comes with its own set of denial too. Yeah. And that means that the codependent is protecting somebody else. Could be. So recovery is a journey of self-discovery and personal growth that can involve detoxing from drugs and alcohol, rebuilding one's life. So let's recap these: recognition, responsibility, reflection, reconnection, restoration, resilience, and reintegration. Those are the 7 R's, matey, of recovery. No more bottles of rum. Arg, arg, no rum. All right. So I came up, and I'm going to present. Of course, we got to vote on it and stuff. But what I was thinking, because there's a lot of events that are coming up, and I'll use Adams County as an example. Last year, I went to their LGBTQ, and we were doing the Club Trudge. We are also answering any questions about AA. Okay. But when it comes to these things, like Adams County, let's say, why is the room always like Adams County, usually you have to pay for these spots, but I tend to get special things because of what I do, because I sacrifice my time and my money to make things better for other people, right? So I can get these spots for free. I got a table, I got a thing, but what I was thinking is we make a banner like the Club Trudge over there, but on it says AA booth. Answer all your questions about AA, no judgment. All are welcome, including family or friends. And we can put that on there, right? And it'll help us do 12-step service work, man. And then we can go to these places in our area. And what that'll do is it'll help build the grassroots meeting online and the in-person meeting. And it'll bring more people into AA in a non-evasive way. So I thought that would be a good way to maybe spend a little bit of our money. I already have a shit ton of pamphlets and information and all that other stuff, so we don't have to get that. So I thought that was a good place. We can go to North Glen Community Reach Center, who I'm meeting with tomorrow morning. We can combine with other places that help back into reintegration. They'd have to be separated, though, because AA won't promote. In fact, that might be a bad idea, right? just some thoughts that, I'm trying to come up with, things that I'm coming up with, so that we can reach more alcoholics. Um, I also feel like AA kind of needs to be updated to not fit a Gen X lifestyle. No, we need to be catering to the millennials, to the Gen Zers, and to the people that are coming after us. And we kind of need to get. I have a family, a big books. I have a family, a big books. I'm presuming you have a bunch of big books. I have several too, and I have like 10 12 by 12s because we had a 12 by 12 meeting, but we might get back into 12 by 12 meetings, as we start to grow and stuff. So, right on. All right, I think that's gonna be it for today. Tomorrow may be a little weird, as far as the lives go. I have to be somewhere at 9:30, and I will not be going live before I leave. I just won't have enough time. But I should be back by 11 because it's at 9:30. Probably leaving by 10:30. I should be back by 11. If not, then I'll do it after I go to a noon meeting or something. So, all right. Well, good discussion. Good discussion. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We got some things out of it. I think we learned more about what precipitates a relapse than anything else. I love it when people ask questions here. I really do. I like being challenged with that, because more than anything, I like helping people. It was funny because my therapist, she's like, okay, Dion, you're looking at doing all this stuff. How does your anxiety feel about it? I'm like, I have no problem with it because when I go do this, it's on my own time and there's no expectation. There's no expectation. I'm really trying to attend my 12 by 12 meeting more, but the more I read the book, the more I want to pull out my hair. I love you too. I think we can have a personal talk about that sometime if you like. If you like. Absolutely. You don't have to like everything in the program, but I get it. Because there's some things in the 12 by 12 that I lift an eyebrow to. Absolutely. So I got to a place where it was a take what I can and leave the rest kind of a thing. Because it just doesn't. I understand it. There wasn't the checks and balances like there was with the big book as there was with the 12 by 12. But what I do appreciate, sometimes I have to post it so I know what you said. And, sometimes I have to, it is also AA approved literature. So, but what I do appreciate about it more than actually the steps is the long forms of the traditions and teaching me what way not to go. That's what I really appreciate about it. But I can see why. Yeah. So, all right. Because otherwise, how are we going to learn about traditions? Because there's nothing really else out there. There's nothing in the big book. So, but it would have been nice if somebody would have redlined them. I agree with that. If people haven't figured it out yet, Bill W. was an egomaniac. But for the grace of God, go I. I'm one too. So, all right, and we're all allowed to feel our feelings. We're allowed to have that. Absolutely. So, all right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I love you. I love you. Well, then I'm willing to meet halfway. What if we didn't have a 12 by 12 study? We had a tradition study. What if we did something like that? I'm willing to balance this stuff out. I think it'd actually be more beneficial. It would be more beneficial to have a traditions meeting, because when we leave out the 12 by 12, people don't know the traditions, and then they go out there and do this stuff. They don't understand that, because I hear a lot of clubs begging meetings for money. But what I don't see them doing is going out into the community with a banner on their front there at an event trying to help people in the community. I don't see them doing that. And there's clear-cut directions in the 12 by 12 on how to do it. So would it be fair to say we all are? Yes. That's what I was going for, CJ. So, but thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. See, we can always come to a solution. As long as we're willing to get to a solution, then we can argue, we can bicker, we can disagree. But what it comes down to is what's best for the newcomer. What's best for the person coming in? What can we do better to make sure more people come into AA? And if we can agree on that, then we got something going. Then we can right on. Good. Sweet. They don't offer a spreadsheet quarterly. See, and I need to take care of that too, Clara Joyce. So you guys do get my brain going. Well, now I'm going to go shut it down. I'm done for today. So, all right. Thank you again, everybody. I love you. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.